I'm going to wait for a few more people to get in here. Just thought it would be fun to have a discussion where I take your guys' comments and try to fix my hair a little bit before everybody gets in here. But I thought it would be fun to just answer questions and talk about anything that you guys want tonight. We haven't done that in a long time. And as you can see, I have far more gray hairs than I used to have, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Hey, Dodie Redding, thank you. I just thought it would be fun to have a live tonight, whether it be long or short, I don't care. I'm not doing anything on this Saturday night. Sitting at home. Thought it would be fun to come on here and talk with my old friends. So what do you guys think? Hi, Tippy Toes. I'm great. Good to see you. Hi, Jackie Kerr. Karen. Marla Hannah. Thank you. You look wonderful. Well, thank you, Marla. I was a little bit self-conscious because of my hair, and it's turning gray, more and more gray every day. Thank you, Alpha. Saying I have a nice haircut. Thank you. When you guys first met me in 2020, I had long hair and it was much darker. And I'm trying to adjust to this new look where I have short hair and it's turning gray, and the years are just flying by, ladies and gentlemen. But let me back up here. I want to say hi to everybody. Hi, Kathy from Denver. Hi, Allison Thomas from Australia. Hi. Thank you, Dodie, for commenting on the haircut. Thank you, Kitty Laughlin. Good to see you too from Arizona. Yeah, what part are you from, Kitty? I know I've seen you on here before, and you probably told me before, but it's been a while. And yes, I am a little subconscious about my hair today for some reason. I'm starting to notice more and more grays up here on my bangs. Okay, you're still handsome. Thank you, Mama Mia. Thank you so much. What's going on tonight? Well, thank you for asking, Karen. I just thought that we would get on here and have some fun tonight. I've got 90 people so far, and I just started. So as you can tell, we always have people that are, seems like they're right there waiting. They want to come on here and talk about, just, you know, reminisce about the good old days and talk about the cases. And but before I talk about any of that, I want to say hi to everybody. Sandra Lee, hello. Janet Lee, hello. How's Dusty? Dusty's doing good. It's a new you. Yeah, it is a new me. Hopefully I got more wisdom and more maturity. I like to think I do, to match these looks that I have going on here with the gray hair and everything else. You're very handsome, Tyson. Nothing wrong with gray hair. Thank you, Tippy Toes. Just about 5 minutes ago, I got off of live on TikTok. And the people weren't so nice on there. They weren't as nice as you guys are, so thank you. Johnny, I would rather fight 100 one-year-olds or a single 100-year-old. Choose wisely. Or would you rather fight 100 one-year-olds or a single? I would definitely take the 100-year-old. Choose wisely. Yep. Hi, Louise P. Thank you. Hi, Marlene Dyke from Canada. Don't be so vain, Elsa Olsen. You know what? You're right. I really shouldn't, because really it's not even about any of that, is it? I don't worry about it nearly as much as I used to, but there are issues. There is an issue with the live chat. Please end live stream and restart it. Can you guys hear me right now? Because it's telling me that It's telling me that there's something wrong with the live and I need to restart it. And I don't know if that's true or not, but it looks like everything's going fine. So let's just stick with it. Thank you. No issue. Okay. Thank you, guys. All right. I'm just going to go down through here. And TikTok can be dangerous for real. Be careful. Yes, Macy, I know. It really, in more ways than one. TikTok's a whole different animal. Hello, Georgia Mom, Fuzzy Doxy, thank you. Hello. All those same old familiar names. Edward Christensen. Do you do children's birthdays? I don't know what you mean by that. I'm gonna skip that because it's probably some weird comment. If not, I apologize, but I don't know what that means. Loud and clear. Oh, are you guys hearing a noise in the background? Is that what it is? I got a fan going. Let me put my, hold on one second. Let me get my headphones. Maybe that'll help. Let's see. I don't know if it will or not. All right. Maybe that's a little better. I don't know. If it's not, it's because I have a fan going. As you guys know, I'm here in Arizona. No, not today. Show your six pack. No, I don't have a six pack. And even if I did, I wouldn't be showing it on here. But hey, Sally Birch. Janet Salazar, hello. I remember your name. So, how's everybody doing on this Saturday night? Let's talk about anything that you guys want to talk about. Bring it up. Talk about the Barry Morphew case. We could talk about Nick Cordova. Anything. As you guys know, probably seen, I don't know if it made national news or not because that case really just died down. But Lori Vallow was convicted here in Arizona just within the last couple of days. Added 2 more life sentences to her. You know, not that it. You know, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that's a waste of time to, in some ways, to try people even when they're in prison for life. But I know it's more for the victims, so I get it. But yeah, Lori Vallow's done. Thank goodness. She's going to prison for a long time. Mr. David, should you go to bed? You can go to bed if you want to. But if you want to stay here, we'd love to have you. Cat's Eye, hello. Georgia Mom, Tyson Justice is just around the corner. Just like I said it was going to be, ladies and gentlemen. And it was touch and go there for a long time with Barry Morphew, wasn't it? We didn't know what was going to happen, but it does look like justice is just around the corner. And as that case gets moving, as we get underway here, I think it's going to garner a lot of national attention. So we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be one of those cases people are going to be interested in because it's had so many twists and turns. But that's neither here nor there. The main thing is getting justice for Suzanne, and we're finally there. Like I said before, we're entering the final chapter. All right, I'm going to take some questions here, guys. It's a little bit different setup than I used to do where I could actually put your comments up here. I don't have that option anymore, or if I do, I'm not exactly sure how to work it now that it's been updated. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick a comment here. Let's see, or a question. What's up with Barry Morphew, Fuzzy Doxy? I heard Colby had a mini stroke, probably all the stress. Yep. What is going on with Barry Morphew? Well, as far as I know, and I'm sure there's people in here and all around Colorado and the country that are actually more up to date on it than me, but as far as I know, on this beautiful Saturday night, Barry Morphew is no longer here in Arizona, but he's sitting in a jail cell somewhere in Alamosa, Colorado, where he should be and where he probably is going to be for the rest of his life. Sue Penner, I'm gonna bring your comment up here. I haven't heard anything about Barry, and I'd love to hear about Nick Cordova. Lori is absolutely impossible. So glad the trial is over. Sue from California. Okay, thank you, Sue. Yeah, let's talk about the Nick Cordova case. I hope I don't, lose people here, but I like to talk about all these different cases. If you're here to hear more about the Suzanne Morphew case, we can talk about that too. But as far as the Nick Cordova case goes, guys, that one's been a real heartbreaker as well. As you guys well know, I met Alicia Cordova around the same time that I met Barry Morphew. I met Alicia in June of 2020 when I was just starting out my true crime channel. I had just ran into Barry Morphew about a couple months prior, and I was here in Arizona, and I saw this case where this 40-year-old father was brutally murdered while he was on FaceTime with his two beautiful kids. His name was Nick Cordova, and he was at his place of business, Gilbert Air. It was an air conditioning company that he ran, and it was about 5:00 p.m., and he was on FaceTime with his two beautiful children. I know you guys probably know a lot of these details, but I'm just going to give you the whole version, not the Reader's Digest. I'm going to give you the whole version, and then we can talk about where everything stands. But anyway, these two thugs came in about 5:00 p.m. Nick was in his office, and these two thugs came in and shot him and killed him, essentially right there while he was on FaceTime with his kids. And Alicia was looking for answers, and so our paths crossed, and I was able to get in touch with her, and she asked me to come down to Gilbert Air and do an interview, and that's how our friendship began. And we went from there, and we started, covering the case, doing videos and stuff. And in the beginning, and for the last couple of years, she's been very she was very loyal, I guess, to the Gilbert Police Department, just hoping that she would get answers and they would find these people. They have them on surveillance because these people who are responsible for this, they stopped just a block away at an AM PM and got gas, and so they got at least one of them on video, so that we thought it was going to be a pretty relatively easy case to solve, but that's been not the case at all. And so we haven't had too many answers. So she's lost all of her faith and trust in the police department, and now she's pretty much on her own. She's on TikTok, she's on other platforms. After 5 years now of having no answers, she's gotten to the point where she's lost all faith in law enforcement, and she's taken it on herself. And I got a hold of her because we've kept in contact over the years, and I got a hold of her and I said, Alicia, why don't we start this campaign? We'll call it Noise for Nick, and we'll just start making noise all around Arizona and all around the world and see if we can't bring these people to justice. And I had a feeling, one of those feelings deep in your soul where you just feel like it's going to get big, it's going to get huge. And that's exactly what's happened, ladies and gentlemen. She started out small, and now she's starting to get big. So if you guys are interested in that case, if you're on TikTok, if you're not, you can maybe find her in some other places, but why don't you go support her? She's getting a lot of followers. She's using that slogan, Noise for Nick. It's working out good for her. And she's starting to bring a lot of eyeballs and a lot of attention to that case. So it's lighting a fire under the Gilbert Police Department. And I don't know where it's at or what's going on specifically with that. I know those guys. This is what I heard, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, and I don't want to jeopardize anything, but from what I heard, they tracked that truck all the way to a property in Phoenix where they had a tow yard. And I won't tell you who owned the tow yard, but you guys could probably put two and two together who owned it. Somebody who owned a towing company. And they tracked this vehicle to that property, and then they somehow found out that these perpetrators were hiding out in Mexico, and they're having a hard time, dealing with that, with the location, with the distance, and with the border, with everything, with extradition. So I think they got a pretty good idea who these people are, but 5 years later, you can imagine the frustration that Alicia Cordova has. It's been agonizing watching her suffer and watching her kids grow up without their dad. I know she tried to move on, and she was dating somebody for a while. She was romantically involved with the guy, and they looked like they were pretty serious, and it looked like she was ready to turn the page. And then they broke up, and something happened, and now she devotes all of her time and her attention to her kids and bringing justice for Nick. And so that's pretty much all I know at this point, ladies and gentlemen. What a fantastic little family she has. Not just her family, but she's got a group of people. She's got her mom. She's got her mother-in-law, Nick's mom, Nick's sister, some nieces and nephews, and other friends and family that are constantly around her and support her. So that's been great. But this is a loss that never goes away. And I'll leave it at that, and I'll steer it back to the Suzanne Morphew case now. There's a lot of people who are involved with this case, the family and whatnot, that the pain never goes away. And even though Barry's locked up on this beautiful Saturday night in Alamosa, Colorado, it still doesn't take away that sting of not having their loved one and their family member. So I think that was the long version, guys, but Echo Zero, his business partner, I would say. Bingo, you got it, buddy. His name's David Sweetman. And if you guys like these true crime stories, these cases, and you want a good one, go look up Laura Sweetman. She was a doctor, very well known, very well liked pediatrician here in Arizona, and she supposedly drowned in her bathtub when she was when she was married to David Sweetman, who is the business partner of Nick Cordova, who, by the way, had a life insurance policy on Nick Cordova at the time of his murder. So you guys want to start connecting the dots and you want to go down a rabbit hole, go check that out. Laura Sweetman is an interesting case as well. There's been no justice for her. I don't believe she drowned in a bathtub, ladies and gentlemen. A very intelligent doctor, a young athletic woman drowning in a bathtub, that's very far-fetched and hard to believe. It's not impossible, but none of that stuff's adding up. Within the last few months, David Sweetman's been arrested a couple of different times right here in Arizona. One of them was because he took a baseball bat to his son, and this is all public knowledge. And I got the police reports. I read it. I read everything on Laura Sweetman. I know quite a bit about David Sweetman and his past. But yeah, he's got a violent temper. He chased his son. It wasn't a baseball bat. It was a leg off of a table, a broken table, that he grabbed the leg and chased his son around with the leg, threatening him. This is a violent man, and he's got more than one death, surrounding him. So I don't know what the Gilbert Police Department's waiting for or what the situation is, but I know a lot of people's patience is wearing thin. I'll tell you that. So Well, I see Strawberry Wine is trying to comment on here. That person's still hanging around, but fortunately it says their messages are being deleted. So the old haters are still hanging around. They got that hate in their heart. It's really sad. They've carried it for many, many years. Strawberry Wine is one of them. Sick person. Yeah, okay, so you guys want to go back to the Suzanne Morphew case? Yeah, the girls have decided to be loyal to Barry. Yeah, it's a tough situation, ladies and gentlemen. And I know I lost followers when I stood up for the Morphew girls, and I don't stand up for them because they did a lot of things that I don't agree with and that I don't like. That left a sour taste in my mouth, but at the same time, you try to be a little bit understanding of their situation, you know, losing their mom and their dad. But, you know, there's a lot of things I didn't like about all that, how they handled it, or the things they, not necessarily the things that they did, but the things that they didn't do. So, Strawberry Wine, you can't comment for 300 seconds, it says. 300 seconds, that's a long time. I guess you're in timeout. You're on the naughty list. Man, I thought you would have grown up after 5 years. I haven't seen you for 5 years, and you haven't grown up a bit. You're still on here being childish. What a shame. What a shame. These people are evil. Yes, Martin Smallwood. Hey, Tyson, do you remember when you met Barry and he was soaking wet? Yes, Martin, I do. That's a day I'll never forget. I'm sure you guys have heard me say it multiple times. But yeah, that was weird. That whole thing was weird, seeing Barry out there that day. Because he was wet. I don't know what happened. But yeah, thank you for the comment, guys. I'm trying to read them and talk here at the same time, but... Oh, Strawberry Wine. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake, Strawberry Wine. That is my fault. You're actually you're on the good team. You're on our side. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And my deepest apologies, Strawberry Wine. I should have known by the name, guys, but it's been a while. Thank you. Yeah, Martin, I do remember that day that Barry was soaking wet. It was weird. Sometimes I wonder how I ended up in those situations where I'm walking on the side of the road in Maysville, Colorado, running into Barry Morphew. It's almost like the universe guides you sometimes, right? It just leads you and guides you, and now that we've had a little time to let everything percolate and time to think about it, it's weird how I ended up there. And I saw Barry not just once, but twice. And when I saw him the day before, it was really strange because he was soaking wet. And the strange thing too is, who were the people in the truck with him? I've always wondered who they were, because it wasn't his mom. As you all know, it was his mom the next day, but I don't think it was his mom the day that I saw him when he was soaking wet. It was somebody else. And now with the revelation of, since they found Suzanne's body, they're telling us now that it's been moved maybe more than once. That the bones were bleached, they were sun bleached, and there's just other signs, you know, where we're seeing that her body had been moved. And ever since then, I've often wondered if maybe Barry was moving her body that day that I saw him soaking wet, or if he was checking on it, or whatever. Because you guys got to remember, this was shortly after everything died down. You know, law enforcement had left. The search party that he brought out from Indiana, everybody had left. You know, with the exception of his mom. and maybe a couple of other people, might have been his daughters. Everybody else was gone, and it was a quiet Sunday morning. And so I just wonder if maybe he was somewhere in the creek checking on Suzanne's remains, or if he was moving her. And guys, I gotta say this just for legal purposes, and I don't want to get shadow banned or anything else on here like I've been before. This is all my opinion, and Barry is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But I have often wondered and used my imagination, wondered what he was doing out there that day that I saw him soaking wet. Yes, so thank you, Martin. I do remember that day. It was very strange. We need a troll whacker. Thank you, Lisa King. Thank you, Strawberry Wine. My heart hurts right now because I called you out, and I hope I didn't offend you, Strawberry Wine. I should have known you were my moderator, but that just shows you how long it's been since I've been on here. And my deepest apologies. Hope you guys know I love you and appreciate you guys that have had my back and moderated and whack these trolls like you're playing whack-a-mole. You guys don't play around either. When these trolls get in here, you whack them just like we did in the whack-a-mole game. I sure do love and appreciate you guys, really, man. You guys have been true and honest friends all through these years. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to get on here tonight, interact with you guys. Let's see what else we got. Love from Dubai. We got Dubai in here. We got people from all over the world. Thank you. Love coming from all over the world. We got Dubai chocolate here in America now, so I got some the other day. It was $20 for one bar of chocolate, and it was pretty good. Dubai chocolate is pretty much all the rage, right? But I can tell you what, I'm not going to buy another bar for $20. That was too much. Hey from South Carolina. Love from London, England. Yeah, Dubai chocolate is good. Iceland, we got, and I believe you guys too when you say it, because Hafred Maria Zaldos, a name like that has to be coming from Iceland. Tennessee, Bella Italian. How you feeling, Tyson? I'm feeling pretty good. I really am. I'm feeling great. Feeling better than I've felt in a long time. Starting to put more weight back on. You know, I lost a lot of weight in my face. I lost about, what was it? About 50 pounds of muscle mass. But I'm getting back in the swing of things, ladies and gentlemen. Feeling really, really good. Thank you. The real Angie Girl 1, we are ready for Bear Bear's trial. Yes, we are. We've been waiting, haven't we? For a long time. Would you guys agree with me when I say that it seems like, in some ways, it seems like it's been a long time, but in other ways, it feels like it's gone really fast? I don't know, it's weird. When I say 5 years, it's like, wow, that's a long time. But then at the same time, it seems like it's gone really fast. Hugs from Edinburgh, Scotland. We got people from all over the world. So glad you're doing better. You look good. Thank you. I'm a little more self-conscious than I used to be about going on camera, but there's no reason to be, ladies and gentlemen. We're all going to get old. We're all going to get wrinkled. We're all going to get gray hair. And unfortunately, we're all going to go the way of the world, right? That's why I'm just trying to be a good person and trying to be the best person that I can, because I realize that we're all just on this ride temporarily. And Echo Zero, do you think we will hear anything different from the last trial, Tyson? Yes, I do. I think we're going to hear a lot more. I don't really have any specifics about what we're going to hear, but I think they're going to call, they'll call a bunch of people. I don't know if they'll call me or not. Probably not. But I would be willing to testify if I was ever called to talk about what happened when I ran into Barry and what his demeanor was or whatever. But I don't know if they're going to do that. I know I was on the list before, but I don't know if it's going to be that way this time around. And so they'll probably call people that'll bring, shed new light on the case, and we'll find out more about what happened from different people's perspective. I anticipate they're going to be calling people from Indiana. I don't know if they're going to call Jeff Liebler, the guy that Suzanne was corresponding with. I mean, that would be somebody that I would expect him to call, but you never know. I don't know what his story is. I haven't tried to, find out or follow what he's doing. I know he was very scared in the beginning because when the news first broke, he was worried because they were having an affair, and he has kids and a wife and a family, and how embarrassing. He just wanted to go hide out, but I don't know what where that stands now or whatever. So hello from Southern Oregon. You look great, Tyson. Thank you. Celtic Freckles. Justice for Suzanne. Yes, sweet Melissa. They have quite the witness list, Amber. Yes, I'm sure they do. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be I shouldn't say fun. It's not going to be fun, but it's going to bring closure for all of us, and it's going to be satisfying. I guess that's a better word, to watch Barry go down for his many, many lies and his other crimes. Amber, both you and Jeff Liebler are on the list, so I guess I'm still on the list, huh? I didn't know that. Nobody's reached out to me. CBI used to reach out to me, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and also FBI. I talked to both of those on multiple occasions. The guy that was involved from the FBI, I don't think he's on the case anymore, so I don't know. Sue Penner, on a personal note, I hope your relationship with your daughter has worked out. Thank you. Thank you. The situation really hasn't changed, ladies and gentlemen, because without going into a lot of details about that, it's just a very unique situation with my daughter's mom and with her family and the whole situation. You got a situation where it has religion, family, small towns, lots of rumors, lots of gossip, lots of lies. So I don't see it ever changing, or no, I shouldn't say ever, but I don't think it's going to change in the immediate future. But I'm going to keep trying, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for that. Martin Smallwood, there are 236 on the new list, 511 on the old list. Oh, okay. So they whittled it down. Am I still on there, Martin? I don't know, because I haven't heard anything from law enforcement because I had to change my number, my phone number. I kept it the same for a long time, as many of you know. A lot of people, maybe some of you even on here, have reached out to me on my cell phone, but I had to finally change my number. Why? Because of all these people who are in here who are getting put in timeout are the same ones who are messaging me 3 o'clock in the morning, very inappropriate messages and very horrible and awful things, because these people are evil. They really are. They're evil. And I'm trying to be nice. Oh, yes. Thank you, Martin Lockwood. I guess I'm still on there. So, Tammy Lee, CBI, from Watts' case, is on the new witness list too. She did the polygraph on Watts. Very interesting. You know, that's one of the things that got me super interested in this case, was the Chris Watts case. I was looking at that case, the Chris Watts, and the Lori Vallow case when I came across Suzanne Morphew. You guys have heard this story 100 times. I'm not going to repeat it, but the Chris Watts case was awful. I don't like to even think about that one because it involves his 2 beautiful children as well. That story was horrible. Lucy J, hello, Tyson. It's so very good to see you. Blessings to you. You work so hard for Suzanne. You were loved. Thank you very much, Suzanne, from the bottom of my heart. Fuzzy Doxy, yes, I agree with you 100%. Jerks and losers. And you know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to put it out here to the public, ladies and gentlemen, because when this case first started, I was in a completely different mindset. I was pretty much a completely different person in some ways. But if there was anything that I ever said or did to offend anybody, or I hurt anybody along the way, or I did anything wrong, I sincerely apologize. And I can tell you that if I did, it wasn't anything malicious. It's not really in my nature, unless, really it's never in my nature to be maliciously mean. But if I feel like somebody deserves it, like some of these jerks that have got on here, then I will definitely call them out. I don't back down from a fight, but I'm not going to go out and maliciously try to hurt people. So if I did, I apologize. I didn't mean it. Your gray hair looks very distinguished, Tyson. Thank you. I'm getting more and more used to it as I go on here. Dusty's doing pretty well. I don't really know how much he wants me to talk about him on here, but I've had a lot of people asking about him. It's pretty surprising. I don't know why, but it's kind of surprising to hear how many people love Dusty, and it's really great. I'm glad that you guys do. I love Dusty. Obviously, he's my brother. But I think that a lot of you guys have probably figured out by now that, he's living back here in Arizona now, and he went through some life changes as well. So did Chappie. And I'm not going to talk about their personal business on here, but both of them went through some life changes, and they're kind of in a completely different situation than they were when we had the show going. And so, that's just life, I guess. But I think both of them are doing well. They're happy. And we're just all trying to make it through this crazy thing we call life, right? I love you, Chappie. I love you, Dusty. And we had a good run. It was a lot of fun. We made a lot of friends along the way. And hopefully we did some good for Suzanne Morphew and some others out there. And it's so good to see that so many of you guys have fond memories of both Dusty and Chappie as well. So you guys are great. You guys are truly good people. I miss Arizona. I used to live in Arizona for 6 years, Lucy. Yeah, Arizona's great. I don't know where you are right now, Lucy, but I'm sure you're more comfortable than you would be in Arizona right now. Actually, this summer hasn't been too bad. It's been kind of crazy because right now it should be about 117 degrees in Phoenix and about 112, 115 where I'm at, but it's only been about 105, 106, 110 maybe. So it's been kind of a mild summer. It's been weird. This weather's been weird. Oh, you're in New Mexico, Lucy? What part of New Mexico are you in? I love New Mexico. Don't tell me Ruidoso, because man, you guys are flooding like crazy over there. Fuzzy Doxy, you used to live in North Phoenix? Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, Dusty is a great investigator, Martin, and I'm sure he would appreciate you saying that. He really, Dusty's a very intelligent man. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He's got some great skills, great photographer, great investigator, like you said. Karen, you're in Utah. Sweet Melissa, as men get older, they look distinguished. We just look wrinkly. No, you from your profile picture, you look really good. And you know what? We're all getting wrinkly, man. It's just a fact of life. And I see all these kids, and I call them kids, but I see these 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds that are getting Botox. That are constantly getting Botox and these injections. And if you guys are doing that, I'm not trying to, put you on the spot or make you feel bad, but for me, guys, this is all natural. I'm just going out all natural. I'm not going to do the hair dyes and the Botox and all that. So 67 years old. Well, you're looking fantastic. Melissa, good job. Yes, strawberry wine, I will tell, excuse me, I will tell Dusty, Chappie, and Chappie hello. Tyson, ever heard of Travis Alexander and Jodi Arias case that happened in Arizona? Yes, I have. I'm going to tell you guys, I know I've kept you on here for 40 minutes, but I'm going to go a little longer here because I want to tell you guys kind of a creepy story that happened to me. Talking about the Jodi Arias case. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with that case, but that was awful. What happened to Travis Alexander in Mesa, Arizona. It was the summer of 2008. I'll never forget it for many reasons. One of them is because Travis Alexander was a returned missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so, you know, that's how I grew up. I grew up in the church as well. And I went on a mission. So it kind of hit home to me in more ways than one, not just because it was a missionary, but because this case was happening in Arizona. And he met this girl at a conference in Las Vegas. Her name was Jodi Arias. And they hit it off. They had a great weekend together. And after the conference was over, Jodi went back to California, where she was from, Northern California, and Travis went back to Mesa, Arizona, but they continued to correspond with each other and get together every once in a while. And they kind of did it on and off, you know. I think Jodi was more interested than Travis was. But Travis strung her along. I'm not going to say he was a saint in any way. He strung her along. He made a lot of mistakes and did a lot of things that he shouldn't have done along the way. He strung Jodi along, and she fell in love with him, and she moved out here to Arizona. And I actually met some people, had some friends that had Jodi Arias over for Thanksgiving dinner, and they were friends with her. She used to hang out at the Institute there in Mesa, right off of Dobson, right by Mesa Community College. There was a little institute there for the church, and she used to hang out there, and I had some friends that used to hang out with her. But anyway, I'm giving you guys probably the longer version, but this case really intrigued me. And it intrigued me so much to the point that I started traveling around like I did, you know, with my boots on the ground. I started going to these different places where I went to. Jodi Arias used to live in Palmdale, California. That's where. And I'm skipping a bunch of details. I'm jumping around, but just kind of bear with me. Travis Alexander baptized Jodi Arias. And I don't know how much you know about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but that's what missionaries do. They baptize people. And their relationship had progressed to the point where Travis had converted her and baptized her in a little church, a little chapel in Palmdale, California. And I traveled there, and I went there. And the day I got there, I pulled into the parking lot. There was 2 missionaries that were there. They were the only ones there. And I started talking to them, and they said, yeah, come on in. And so I went into the church, and I actually saw the baptismal font where Jodi Arias was baptized as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And Travis had some evil intentions. He really did. And unfortunately, I hate to speak about the dead that way, but as the facts came out later that night after she was baptized, they went to a friend's house and they had consensual sex. But because the LDS Church feels like says it's a sin to have premarital sex, Travis Alexander engaged in anal sex with Jodi Arias because that was, I guess, kind of their way around it, their way of justifying it, that it wasn't really sex because it was this, you know, kind of weird, this other thing. But anyway, as I continued on my travels, I went to Travis Alexander's grave. It's in Riverside, California, where he grew up. He grew up in Riverside, California with his grandma. So they buried him there. And I went to his grave, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the weird and eerie part that I'm getting to. I had, and I don't want to say this lightly because this is creepy and it's weird, but I had a legion of evil spirits follow me home after that experience. I had the most evil experience at Travis Alexander's grave in Riverside, California that I've ever had in my entire life. And these spirits, these dark, evil spirits bothered me for a very long time. They wouldn't leave me alone. I had to burn sage. I had to get priesthood blessings. I had to fight for years to get rid of these evil spirits that were following me around, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know if you believe in that type of stuff. And honestly, I didn't really either until it happened to me. But to answer your question, do I know about the Jodi Arias case? Absolutely. And do I know about the other case with, what was the other case you asked me? Oh, I think it was it Lori Daybell? Alex Cox? Yeah, I know about that one too. I know about all the cases that happen here in Arizona. We've had some doozies. But luckily, ladies and gentlemen, by the grace of God, I was able to get rid of those evil spirits. And when I met Barry Morphew, I didn't have any of those evil spirits follow me like that. But you know what I did have? I had that evil feeling. And I had what felt like the hair on the back of my neck stand up because I knew something wasn't right. Not just by his body language and not just by the circumstances that I was perceiving with my senses, but because of the unknown and the unseen feeling, the vibe that I was getting, something wasn't right. And I felt that even when I looked him in the eye, Barry Morphew, as soon as he rolled down that window and I said to him, "Are you Barry Morphew?" The look on his face and the way that he answered that question and the way that he responded, I knew deep in my soul that something wasn't right. And I know there's going to be those haters out there that get on here and say, "But yeah, Tyson, you made a video right after it happened and you said you weren't going to judge him and you didn't know how you felt at that moment. You weren't going to prejudge." Well, you're right, because I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and I was trying to process a lot of information on the fly in the heat of the moment. But I knew this, I knew at my very core that something wasn't right. And as we followed this case over the last 5 years, we're starting to see that feeling was correct. And we're not there yet. Barry could be let out of jail tomorrow on some technicality, heaven forbid. But we're almost there. But I don't get my hopes up too much anymore, ladies and gentlemen, after everything that's happened. I don't get my hopes up too much because until they read that verdict and it says guilty, and until they give him a sentencing, it really doesn't mean that much. That's when I'm going to have my big sigh of relief. And that's when I'm going to say, okay, I knew from the very beginning that my gut feeling was right, that I was on the right track. I mean, I know now, but I don't think about it too much until we finally close this book and the final chapter is over and we've got justice and things are done and everything's in the history books. But yes, I do know about Travis Alexander. I know about Chris Watts. I know about Alex Cox. I know about Chad Daybell. I know about Barry Morphew. The list goes on and on and on, ladies and gentlemen. These people are all the same. And we've got people of that same spirit here in the chat, and we got people out there in the world. They're never going to commit murder, but they're just as evil. They're just not good people. They're they're just dark. There's just something not right about them. And you see it every day, ladies and gentlemen, and that's just the world we live in. And maybe it's because, maybe it's just how it was all set up from the beginning. Good versus evil, dark versus light. Truth versus lies. But I'm just glad, and I said this on my live on TikTok a little while ago, I'm just glad that I'm on the right side of history, because I truly feel like I am. But the weird thing is, you go talk to them, they're going to say the same thing. They feel like they're on the right side of history. But all you got to do is look at the fruits of their labors, ladies and gentlemen. All they do is try to tear other people down. They don't care about building other people up or helping people in any way. It's all about them. It's all about destruction. And these people are awful and evil. But ladies and gentlemen, I've kept you on here for almost an hour now. I don't know what Barry Morphew's doing right now as he sits in a jail cell in Alamosa County. I don't really care what he's doing, but I'm just glad that he's there. I know that I'm here in Arizona on my Saturday night, enjoying myself, talking to my friends, and you guys are all around the world, literally. Dubai, Australia, the UK, the list goes on and on and on, and you're in here with me tonight. We're all of one mind and one spirit. We always have been. We're on the same team. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. And whoever you are and wherever you are, may God bless you. And like we always say, may justice be served for Suzanne Morphew. We're getting closer, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for hanging out tonight. God bless.